Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fourth edition of the Friday evening show with Amit. If you have noticed in the last three episodes or last three talks that Amit had and then Valentina also had, we tried to be uh, as pragmatic as possible, give you answers to very specific questions, give you concepts which relate to everyone. And then Valentina came up with a practice which is forgiveness, and that is something we cannot do without. So this in this episode, what we are going to do is we are going to answer some questions, more questions that we have received. In fact, we have received a lot of questions. We have selected a few, and those will be answered by both Amit Goswami, Dr. Amit Goswami, and Dr. Valentina. Let me introduce them once again. Well, Dr. Amit Goswami is the quantum activist. I emphasize the word the, and he is was a professor of physics, conventional physics, then had enlightenment and moved on to create a worldview which can be the savior of the world. And he is joined by Dr. Valentina Onisor. If we can have Dr. Onisor on the screen, please. Well, Dr. Onisor is a medical doctor, but she realized what more she can do in this world. And then she practiced and got mastery in various other streams of healing, and she is an extremely accomplished integrated healer. So these are the two primary people. They are part of our movement called quantum activism. Now there are many other people, hundreds and thousands of them all over the world. And for these sets of people, the primary weapon to tackle whatever is coming their way is knowledge. Knowledge is the primary weapon. Even if we look at today's scenario, the coronavirus is, though it is in resurgence in many places, but in many places it is already handled. And we all expect that in another few months or maybe a year or 2 years' time, it will be largely contained, if not completely contained. And that is because we have gathered more and more knowledge to handle the crisis. Same for changing worldviews. Knowledge is crucial. Keeping this in mind, and to meet a very growing demand from followers across the world, we have now come up with a degree course, which is a master's degree and a PhD degree on quantum science of, if, probably we can have the English version, quantum science of health, prosperity, and happiness. And this is a fully accredited degree. Now, this has been a demand for many people across the countries because this knowledge must be not only in the form of just lectures or assimilation, but in a lot of places it requires a stamp, an official stamp of authentication. So here we have tied up with the University of Technology in Jaipur, and under the banner of UGC, this is a complete degree like any other master's degree, and this is a complete PhD. So anyone who is completing these degrees will be accredited at par with any other university's master's and PhD degrees. Now, this has been an important milestone in our journey because this is the first time over the last few decades of work that Dr. Goswami and his team has done that we have come together in a very organized manner and to give you, the people, the best of the knowledge and the most advanced techniques in handling how we can survive, not only survive, we can thrive in the world, we can make this place a better one before we leave. Well, not only that, in the course of creating these degree courses, it came to our attention that there are certain other courses in itself. That is, I mean to say, courses in master's degree. They themselves can be very interesting for many people. One of them being relationship. Now, this is an issue which most people in the world want addressed in various degrees. In today's world, most of us adults are in some way or the other looking for a better answer in terms of our relationships. And we have come up with a module called Sex, Love, and Relationship, which will be shortly available on the internet. And this will throw light from a very, very different vantage point. So you'll get to understand how relationships can be scientifically analyzed. And this science, interestingly, is not like our material science full of mathematics. By the way, let me tell you, this master's degree, PhD, or any other course that we offer does not require any scientific background. People from any background can come and join us. For master's degree, we only need a bachelor degree from any university, and for a PhD, we need a master's degree from any university. Now, let us come to the questions. And this is a question we have received. Let me see. In fact, there are a number of questions that we received. But first question that almost echoes my just a couple of minutes back what I said. So my first question to Dr. Goswami is, can science handle the subject of love? Because apparently they were quite juxtaposed. Can you elaborate, please?
This is a very, very good question. Of course, that is the basis of the whole course, how love fits in. But they ask the simple question, you'll get the answer immediately. The simple question to ask is that where do you feel love? See, love can be thinking love, but that's not what most people would say, although some people, but the intellectuals, they think that it is all thinking. But everybody agrees that there is a component of it, which we may call emotion. And connoisseurs, like women, they would usually say, no, it's actually a feeling in the heart. I said that, the connoisseurs. So that's the question. How does the heart come in, and how does the heart tell us about love? It was a mystery to me too. The first discovery was that the heart is not only a heart chakra, this region of the chest, not only has the heart, which is a pump, indeed very hard to see what that has to do with love, but it also has part of the immune system, a part called thymus gland, whose job is to distinguish between me and not me. If you think about it, it's to defend ourselves. Do you see now? Love is when our defense is taken away. You drop the defense and you open the gate for love. What happens is that the heart now functions with a higher function. Yes, heart's basic function is survival, blood pump. But the higher function is love. It becomes quantum. When it becomes quantum comes with a characteristic we call non-locality. Non-locality means if you have a quantum connection with somebody else, you will communicate instantly. Now think about it. Who do you communicate instantly with? Only you. So suddenly the other has become you, one with you, part of you. This is very crucial to love. Unless we have that, however much we think, it won't produce what we call love. Love really is that oneness that we can achieve with another. And in romantic love, we achieve it through sexuality. And this is, of course, why it is so important to realize love that way, because it's simply available to everyone. Everyone, every human being has an opportunity of exploring romantic love through sexuality. No other archetype is this simple, truly. So, this is why we emphasize it. And to take the science a little bit further, of course, there is also the question of how do we experience things in the heart? Doesn't experience take only the cortex, which has the proper apparatus? This is a recent discovery. Valentina and I both participated in this discovery. We were very surprised. There is an institute in California called Hartman Institute. They have been talking about heart having this coherence, a quantum term. All parts of the heart start dancing in phase when people of love are brought to them for instrumental analysis. And they find that yes, EKG becomes coherent. Heartbeat variability becomes coherent. And they have been wondering about it. Coherence is also a quantum phenomenon like non-locality. And now we have the explanation. But how do we experience in the heart? This is the other great surprise for us. We find that the mystery is that the heart has a circular apparatus, just like, heart chakra has a circular apparatus, just like the brain. And this circular apparatus, circularity, right? When you bring that into the relationship, you see that not simple hierarchy, that will never get you to love, but circular. Who is dominating whom is irrelevant. Circular. Both are equal partners in love. When you don't dominate the other, when you are equal with the other, when you both participate with oneness, then is love. And that's what quantum physics is able to explain. This is why we are taking it to everyone to learn this. To learn this. How important this is, you realize only when you do it this way. And all of your problems with love and relationship will disappear like mist in the morning sun.
Thank you, Dr. Goswami, for this wonderful explanation. Well, now the next question is for Dr. Valentina Onisar, and this is in a continuation to this question, kind of. So we have got a question from one of the viewers: is there a connection between love and cancer? Cancer being so widespread today and so feared, is there a connection? Over to Valentina.
Thank you, Krishanu. So you see nowadays, unfortunately, you see that the number of people with cancer, it's increasing, and also it's increasing, especially amongst women. And you may wonder why, because of course, cancer, at least the first sight, you already see that it's a lot of disharmony. And you have to, we have to understand how this disharmony and disconnection with ourselves is caused, of course. So if you see in the past, when we had like the material life was more like than a struggle than now, usually, people lived in families and society, religious structure, which they recognize this importance of love in our well-being, which nowadays is not so much. You see, we are busy. We are in the do mode only, and we forget about being. And even if we say that we are sensitive and we are heart connected, but still when there's so much noise in the mind and we are not able to do this mental hygiene, then we are not really in the heart. So mind body medicine practitioners, they call mental stress at the base of even cancer. And of course, this is mostly because of the absence of love in people's lives. And the prevention, obviously, it's love, but of course, we didn't learn about love. We didn't learn about emotional intelligence and all that. So this education is lacking, and that's why it's important to get into that. And the theory about cancer, which is proposed by the quantum science and the quantum healing, which I'm very passionate about. I had great results working with people and with myself also. So there is a blocking of the energies, first of all, of love at the level of the heart chakra, which is producing this immune system disorder. But then it's even more than that. But still, if this block is long lasting, the immune system disorder becomes so huge that the immune system is unable to kill off potentially cancerous growing cells in the body. and which can lead, of course, to malignancy. Uh, no, like nowadays, still I see between my colleagues, doctors, that they are open to integrate, because they see the answer is much more than the practice that we learn in the university is teaching us about medicine. So, but there is like, I'm specialized in acupuncture as well, and this traditional Chinese medicine is showing also that if women, for example, which are they pay attention to their liver and stomach, and also to the meridians which connect the liver and stomach to the heart, this can also be part of preventing the breast cancer, for example. And of course, here we refer to the vital blueprint of the liver function, which has to do with another chakra, the Manipura chakra, the third chakra. And we talk a lot, and we have practices and a lot of evidence about the importance of especially these two chakras, Manipura chakra and Hatha chakra, so the belly area and the heart area. And so this liver meridian is connecting this vital counterpart of the liver with the vital counterpart of the heart chakra organ. And why this is very important? Because, for example, women, we are lacking usually a lot of this fire in the belly, of this self-confidence, self-respect. Men usually have that, but even for them it can be a problem. But because we are lacking this, is predisposing us to many problems. So even if the potential of growth and expansion is there, this is the first problem which we encounter as women. And if you check, there is this example of unfortunate example, I would say, of the actress Angelina Jolie, which had this double mastectomy only because she was told that she had a predisposition of contracting breast cancer, a genetic predisposition. So again, even if there's so much knowledge about alternatives, the fear and the stress was so great that she did this mastectomy. And this, unfortunately, was another fact which led other women to do the same, without going deeper and see what is the message of that disease if it installed, first of all, because usually we want these cheap ways and very fast ways to get rid of something instead of understanding, integrating the message of whatever happens, even if a disease is occurring, but to go and understand and really transform our lives accordingly. And that's, again, a message of transformation under any kind of disease. And of course, people which are successfully being treated and they are healed from this kind of disease, they are always very grateful because they really transform their lives. So something essential in themselves is really shifting. So it's another person which is born after such an event is healed. Now it doesn't mean that we all have to have that, but it would be good to engage with the transformation and with the quantum healing, even, because ultimately the state of healing leads to even removing layers of ignorance and getting to expansion of consciousness and growth in a very beautiful way. So to end with this, I will say that the research is showing that there is a potentiality of love that is waiting in us to be actualized as a self, like Amit was saying, centered around the heart chakra. And the movement towards this actualization is taking us to spiritual wholeness. And when we move away from that, if there's a lot of it, is leading to disease such as cancer or heart disease, autoimmune disease, depression, you call it. So the heart chakra organs, thymus gland, and the heart are not just the only ones in that. Like I said, even the liver and the stomach are involved. So again, the same conclusion is in order to prevent, love is the word, and actually the key to non-locality, to expansion of consciousness. And to love or not to love is the crucial question of wellness, especially as we grow up.
Thank you so much, Valentina. Well, before we move on to the next section of practices, I have another question, and this one is for Dr. Goswami. And this question is in continuation of the earlier question. Apparently, people are quite disturbed about this COVID-19 crisis still. So this question is, what is your view that in containing this COVID-19 virus or the spread of any such viruses in future, what could be or could there be a role of quantum physics and the quantum worldview?
I think so. I think that this is the kind of thing that is giving us a warning. We have been moving towards separateness for quite some time now, about 60, 70 years. How we are doing that, of course, is through a worldview that has surreptitiously entered in our midst. It is called material monism. The idea is everything is matter. But if everything is matter, of course, values don't exist except as pretend values. And this is why you hear so much about political correctness. Everybody has to pretend to be nice because we cannot be nice. We are just machines. Machines don't have such characteristic as being nice. So this is the problem, and there has been value confusion even for people who believe in religion, believe in God. All of a sudden, their belief is totally shaken because somebody, very large number of people, scientists, they are saying this. Doesn't mean that science is all wrong, by the way. Please don't get that idea. That's the other side of it. Conspiracy theories that scientists are bad people. No, it's not like that. Scientists sometimes do have limited beliefs, and this is a phase science is going through. Quantum physics has corrected this belief for some time, about 30 years, but it has not caught into yet. Many people still hold on to this belief that, yes, at the macro level of matter, at the micro level, everybody knows Newtonian physics is wrong. But at the macro level, it is approximately correct, and therefore they hold on to the idea that matter is everything. Now, this has, as I said, shrunk our consciousness, that contraction of consciousness, that separateness, and that increases that emotional stress that Valentina was talking about. These stressors are totally unnecessary. We are so susceptible to the viruses because we are so weakened in our immune system. How many times have you heard that if the immune system is good, you don't have any danger from, you may have a minor illness, but no real danger from any virus. Viruses are here to stay. They will come, that is some mystery that we have not solved yet. But we can be much more equipped by strengthening the immune system. And the way to do it, of course, is love and relationships. Recognize that we are not machines. We are not independent, separate objects. We are anything but. We thrive in relationship. We thrive in being one with the other. This characteristic in quantum physics we call correlation or entanglement. You can correlate with anyone just by simply intending it. And do that. Give up all hatred, give up all separateness. Make relationships. And your immune system will get strong, and that is absolutely the best answer to future virus attack.
Well, thank you again, Dr. Goswami. And now we move on to Valentina. Dr. Valentina Onisor will show us a practice for the audience, and we are eagerly looking forward to what Valentina has to do today. Thank you, Valentina. Over to you.
So we will do a short practice now together, but you can, if you like it, if you feel inspired by that, you can do it for a longer time and even every day if you like it. So it refers to that aspect of correlation which Amit has mentioned. So if you know or if you don't know, love and love relationships should and can be approached as engines of transformation and evolution. And last time we worked on forgiveness, and the method that we will do now will also go in the same direction and maybe even deeper if you're able to do it well. And it refers to purifying and transforming any kind of relation. Okay, it's kind of you resettle a relation from the spiritual perspective based on love, and make all the misunderstandings and ego conflicts to be transformed in an ideal state for your couple. It's kind of like you need sometimes to start over a relation. And why? Because while you have your relationship, you transform the way you see the other person. In not transform, you're changing the way you see the other person. You see it more like a projection of your needs and so on. So we don't talk about this because I just want to do the practice now. But it would be good to approach your love relationship as truly an engine of transformation. So for that, please now choose, each of you, a person that you want to practice this method with. It does not have to be next to you. It's no locality at work, so it can be at the distance. A person, again, intent, like that you feel inspired to open your heart towards, or if you have a relationship. It can be even a spiritual master, which is alive or not. Yeah? And choose that person, one person. And the first stage, we will do the centering in our heart. I'll just guide you very briefly to the thing. But again, centering in the heart actually requires a great quantum leap. So for now, we can intend that. Yeah. And then in the second phase, we'll do the technique, which will be to be able to center in the same time in our heart and in the other person's heart. So to, like we talked about immunity, that me and not me, to make it one from the level of the heart, from your essence, yeah, not from what you know about the person or how the person looks. Okay. And it is a very powerful technique, actually, which can open a supramental gate, which is through the heart in this case. So for that, let's close our eyes. I hope everybody chose a person that you want to work with. You can close your eyes, it's easier. And take a deep breath, relax your physical body, your shoulders, your belly, and witness simply your breath. Follow it without influencing it. And we manifest the intent to center in our heart. Which means not to think about the heart, but to allow yourself to fall like in this mysterious space of your heart, like in a daydreaming state. And be attentive simultaneously to your breathing and in the middle of your chest. Allow yourself to inhabit this space of the heart, as if everything you do, think or feel or hear, you hear from here, and you feel it from here, from your heart, not from your mind. Simply maintain this attention on the breathing and on your heart, in the middle of your chest. Without thinking of you as a physical body, simply manifest this intent to connect and inhabit your spiritual heart fully. And now bring the other person in your space of your awareness as if it is in front of you, and simply do this union of the hearts. So simply be present, centered in your heart and simultaneously in the other person's heart, without thinking of that person as a physical body, without thinking of what you know about the other person. Simply allow this process to happen, to unfold. And even if in the beginning it will be a movement of going and coming back, which is just charging this connection of the heart, allow yourself more and more to be centered in both hearts simultaneously. Through empathy, our hearts will become perfectly tuned at the level of the essence. We don't share here the same moods or feelings, just the essence. When you feel the limits of your being vanishing, simply keep the state. No more practice needs to be done at that place. And the process of awakening of the supramental level is starting and continue naturally. So that is the sign that you reach there when you feel the limits of your body perception vanishing. And expanding naturally. And at home, you can do this method as long as is needed. And then you simply come back to a normal state and repeat it over and over if it's fitting you, because it is really a great tool of work. You will see in your relationship, whether you tell the person or not, that many misunderstandings or ego conflict will be transformed in this way. And you become free from the past, able to start over, discover love, and live your life, allowing any kind of negative experiences from the past to be transformed in a powerful tool for growth. Maybe you can perceive warmth in your heart, become aware of this warmth and healing of your heart and expanding of the consciousness, indicating openness towards non-locality. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Valentina. It was a wonderful exercise. I'm sure our audiences would like to benefit from them and actually use them in their lives. Most of the time, we see, even if we think that it is nice, it becomes very difficult when it comes to using it practically. So, we urge all of the viewers, listeners, that please use whatever knowledge is shared with you that will help you. Now, what you see here are glimpses of the vast knowledge that quantum consciousness brings to the world. See, that is the reason because
Hello everyone, this is Amit Goswami, quantum physicist, consciousness researcher, and sometimes quantum activist. I am going to speak to you about sex, love, and the new physics. What does physics have to do with sex and love? And today, many people are even confused about why should we have to mention sex and love separately? Isn't sex the same thing as love? Or put the other way, love is nothing but sex. When we have sex and we allow sex to dissolve into love, then very interesting thing happens to the heart. It's no longer just a blood pump. It picks up an additional characteristic, a purely quantum characteristic. This is where quantum physics comes in. And this polarity is what makes love so full of wonders, so full of something that we need to know, that we want to know, that will make my life wonderful. Thank you.
from the vastness, this came out. Now, I mentioned this in the beginning of this talk, that if we go deep into quantum consciousness and the physics and the science associated with it, there are so many things that we can relate to our daily lives. I'm talking about our mundane daily lives, not higher thinking. And we have decided that we will take some of these out, like the one that you just watched, from the curriculum, make them into separate modules, and make them available for general audience. So this is the first one that we are coming up with. It is called Sex, Love, and New Physics. And as the name suggests, this deals or goes deep into a male female relationship in a way that no other previous such attempts have gone. I'm more tempted to say or quote this, Star Wars or Star Trek talk. You remember that Star Trek thing? No man has gone before. So the same thing is here in the context of relationship where no one has gone before. So this will be available to you in about 3 weeks' time, and I hope, we all hope, that this will give you some very practical understanding of how things are, how really things are, and how we can take the most advantage of them and make our lives better. And of course, if you wish to have the whole package, we have the master's degree as well as the PhD degree, as I mentioned before. And these are fully accredited degrees giving you complete understanding and knowledge of the entire subject. Please visit our website www.amitgoswami.org, or if you have any queries, please email us at info@amitgoswami.org. We will respond to you promptly. And again, if you have any questions, please drop the questions here in the inbox or email us. Email is obviously preferred, but if you email us, it would be easier for us to process, and we will be able to answer some of them in the next episode. So I'm sure that all of us together will make a better world, and with this knowledge as a weapon, we'll make this world a better one before we leave. Thank you so much, and meet you again next Friday.